So if you check your brokerage app the other day, you'll probably see a giant sea of red across your portfolio. High quality tech companies like ServiceNow and Salesforce, payment giants like Visa and Mastercard, and consumer apps like DoorDash have been taking a massive beating. Some people might think that this current sell-off is simply due to the recent Trump tariff threats. But let's be real for a second. The market is already used to its tariff shenanigans. So this panic isn't really about that. Instead, the actual catalyst causing this specific sell-off in the tech and payment sectors is a viral article published by Citrini Research called the 2028 Global Intelligence Crisis. To put it simply, what this article explores is a theoretical look at what could happen if artificial intelligence gets way too good and way too fast. It claims that by 2028, AI agents will seamlessly replace all human friction in the economy. It predicts that AI will perfectly optimize every corporate workflow, code every app in seconds, and do all our shopping for us. And because machines do not spend money on coffee, vacations, or mortgages, human consumer spending will totally collapse. They call this concept ghost GDP, which can lead to a massive 10.2% unemployment rate and the S&P 500 crashing by 38% from its highs. Now, we have to give credit where credit is due. This is not just another doomsday clickbait. Citrini is the #1 finance substack for a reason. The author is undeniably brilliant and the research piece is incredibly well written. But it's also important to note that this entire article is written as a tail risk thought experiment. This means it is just a what-if scenario about the absolute worst case outcome and not a guaranteed prediction of the future. And yet, the market is panicking and pricing it in like an absolute certainty. So as investors, when a story sounds too perfectly devastating, we always have to ask ourselves a simple question. Sure, no That's why today, we are going to go through some of the biggest fears in this report using historical data, business fundamentals, and some plain old common sense. So the first claiming in the Citrini report is that by late 2026, AI coding agents have become so advanced that they can replicate complex software products in a matter of weeks. The logic here is that if an AI can code a customer relationship management tool for free, companies will just cancel their expensive subscriptions to SaaS giants like Salesforce and ServiceNow. Sounds very logical, right? But in reality, this argument completely misunderstands how massive corporations function. To understand why this is a myth, we can look at Microsoft Office as a real case scenario. For many years, there have been completely free open source alternatives to Excel and Word, such as OpenOffice or Google Workspace. In fact, you can use them right now without paying a single cent. And yet, massive Fortune 500 corporations still pay billions of dollars every single year to Microsoft. So, why would they do that if free alternatives already exist? The answer is because the actual subscription cost of the software is basically peanuts compared to the hidden cost of switching. If a chief information officer decides to switch their company from using Microsoft to a free alternative, they have to retrain all their employees, deal with broken financial macros, critical formatting errors, and most importantly, massive drops in productivity while everyone learns the new system. This lost efficiency of migrating a large company to a new system is a huge financial risk for a business. The exact same logic applies to enterprise SaaS. The moat for a company like Salesforce is not the raw code. The moat is the deep integration into a company's daily operations, the strict data compliance, and the fact that the entire sales team is already trained on that specific interface. In fact, there's been no lack of competitors in this space. Just do a quick Google search and you'll find hundreds of ServiceNow alternatives, some of which are even completely free to use. And yet, despite all these cheaper options, ServiceNow still completely dominates and holds around 44% of the global IT service management market share. The reason a company like ServiceNow still dominates is because enterprise software is incredibly complex. A massive bank or hospital does not just need a piece of code. They need guaranteed security protocols, dedicated customer support teams, and a proven track record that the system will not crash during peak hours. This is something that you do not get simply with a random free software. This is also why, despite the massive boom in AI coding tools recently, ServiceNow continues to boast a staggering 98% customer renewal rate for its enterprise products. If AI was truly destroying their business model, you will see that renewal rate dropping fast as companies build their own AI alternatives. But the opposite is happening. CIOs will simply not risk blowing up their company operations just to save a few bucks on a newly generated AI software clone. Now, of course, we can also argue that people are still learning how to use AI models. And who knows, maybe in a few years, these AI agents will write perfectly secure code. But historically, Massive corporations will always prioritize reliability, compliance, and having a trusted vendor that they can actually hold accountable when things go wrong, rather than relying on a faceless piece of free code. Quick pause. If you are looking for the best brokers to kickstart your investing journey, check out Interactive Brokers. You will enjoy one of the lowest fees in the industry at just 35 cents per trade on the US stock market. It also offers Ireland domicile ETFs, perfect for saving on dividend withholding taxes. Plus, it also comes with free company research tools, so you can make smarter investing decisions. Feel free to use my Interactive Brokers link to open an account and start investing today. Alright, let's get back to the video. The second narrative in the report is that by early 2027, large language model usage will have become the default, and independent AI agents will soon do all our digital shopping for us. The theory is that instead of a human opening up DoorDash, Uber Eats or Booking.com, an AI agent will just scrap the entire internet to find the absolute cheapest food delivery or the cheapest hotel room. Because the AI only cares about the lowest price, brand loyalty will die, and the profit margins of these aggregator platforms will collapse as a result. This theory sounds logical until you remember who actually controls the customer relationship. It is the company themselves. The companies that already own the eyeballs and the daily user habits hold all the power. By the time the average busy consumer figures out how to accurately prompt an independent AI agent to order their dinner across 20 different random restaurants websites, these companies will have already integrated a native, highly optimized AI agent directly into their own apps. In fact, that is already in the works. DoorDash is already partnering with OpenAI to let users order groceries directly through ChatGPT, and they are building their own AI discovery tools to keep users hooked. Likewise, Uber Eats has also just launched their own AI cart assistant to help users seamlessly build their grocery delivery orders. Even Booking.com has also added their own AI features to help with travel planning, even before AI is a big thing. For these companies, the real secret sauce isn't so much about who has the cheapest delivery fee, but rather, it is the network effect. This is also the reason why, despite the fact that we have so many different food delivery apps around, Grab still holds a massive 55% of the food delivery market share in Southeast Asia. Grab continues to completely dominate because of the network effect. They have the most merchants, the most riders, and an ecosystem that rewards you with points for combining your rides and your food orders. And a generic AI agent scraping the web simply cannot replicate that massive interconnected network of trust, speed, and convenience. Furthermore, you have to remember that human beings are not cold, calculating robots. People actually enjoy the discovery phase of shopping. When you want to order a food for a Friday night gathering, or when you are planning a holiday to Japan, you actually want to look at the pictures, read the reviews, and feel the excitement of making a choice. You do not just want a grey text box feeding you the absolute cheapest and possibly driest chicken rice available without your permission. The idea that a generic independent AI will suddenly steal hundreds of millions of daily active users from established platforms ignores how incredibly hard it is to break and build human consumer habits. Next is the complete death of traditional payment networks. The argument here is that AI agents will eventually realize that credit cards charge a 3% merchant fee. And to save money, these smart AI agents will settle transactions using zero-fee crypto stablecoins instead, thus bypassing Visa and Mastercard entirely. Again, this sounds logical because we might assume everyone just wants the absolute cheapest price. But in theory, this completely ignores the reality of consumer behavior. In fact, this is not the first time someone has tried to bypass the network fees. Back in 2012, a massive consortium of retail giants, including Walmart, Target, and CVS, spent millions of dollars building their own mobile payment app called Currency. Their goal was simple. They wanted consumers to pay directly from the bank accounts to bypass the expensive credit card network fees. But then, this project failed and was shut down by 2016. So, why did Currency fail? If you have ever followed any mouth-chasing community like Mouth Lion here in Singapore, you will clearly see that the main financial discussion is always about credit card rewards. Consumers are highly motivated by free stuff, and they really do not care about the merchants saving that 3% fee. In fact, some people are even willing to pay a 1 to 2% fee to third-party payment services like CardUp, iPayMoney, and CityPayAll, just to earn the points on their income tax or rent. The exact same logic applies to AI agents using stablecoins. If an AI agent pays a merchant directly with a zero-fee stablecoin, the consumer would get 0 air miles, 0 hotel points, and 0 cashback. It was found that in a single year, Americans earn a staggering $41.4 billion worth of credit card rewards. While the local banks keep the exact total payouts a secret, any Singaporean can tell you that the rewards game here is just as massive. So unless the AI stablecoin can somehow generate a free business class flight to Tokyo for the user, humans are simply not going to adopt it. Consumers are incredibly kiasu when it comes to their points, and when given a choice, they will always rather earn their rewards than save on fees. Last but not least, the Citrini article talks about massive structural unemployment. So the idea is that somewhere in the near future, AI will make white-collar work so incredibly efficient that companies simply fire everyone, leading to a 10% unemployment rate. While this prediction sounds terrifying, it actually violates a core economic principle known as the Jevons paradox. To put it simply, when you make a resource more efficient, it does not reduce the demand for it. Instead, it absolutely explodes the demand. We have seen this exact paradox play out in the white-collar world before. When electronic spreadsheets like VisiCalc and Microsoft Excel launched in the 1980s, people panicked, and everyone thought that it would completely destroy the accounting and finance professions. After all, a software program could calculate in seconds what used to take a team of human clerks hours to do on paper. Instead, what actually happened? Because calculating numbers became so cheap and so fast, the corporate demand for financial analysis skyrocketed. Companies realized that they could model out hundreds of different business scenarios instead of just one. Excel did not kill accounting jobs at all. According to an old report, since 1980, about 400,000 basic bookkeeping and clerk jobs went away, but a massive 600,000 brand new accounting and financial analyst jobs were added to the economy. The exact same thing applies here. If AI makes coding or data analysis 10 times faster and cheaper, sure, some corporations might fire the staff, but the majority of them aren't just going to fire the entire staff and stop growing. They are going to keep the staff and demand more output. They will build more software, analyze more data, and launch more products. Efficiency lowers costs, which historically induces massive new demand. So the idea that human ambition will suddenly just stop growing is probably flawed. The 2028 global intelligence crisis is a good thought experiment, but it assumes that humans and businesses act rationally. History and market data constantly prove otherwise. People are inherently lazy, consumers love their free credit card rewards, and massive corporations completely hate the operational risk of ripping out and changing their underlying software. That's why as an investor, you have to look past the narrative-driven fear. The market is currently pricing in an AI apocalypse that completely ignores these basic human realities. And because of that, it is actually creating a massive buying opportunity for high-quality tech and payment stocks whose actual fundamentals remain completely untouched by all these theoretical fears. Anyway, that's all for this video. Hope you found it useful. Like, share and subscribe as I'll be posting new videos every week.